euphorbias are all very nasty plants. The euphorbia latex is very, very poisonous. If you were to consume some of this bush, you have a very good chance of dying. If you were to get it in your eyes, you could go blind. If you were to use the wood from this bush to make a fire and you were to cook on it and the smoke tainted the meat, you could get very sick and even die from it, particularly this particular euphorbia. Funny enough, this is the desert black rhino's favorite food. They just love this bush. Some people sometimes believe that's why black rhinos are so grumpy, because they've always got tummy aches, but that's just an urban legend.
Day 2 in central Namibia, and Frank and I soaked up the scenery while driving through the Red Rock Desert of Damaraland. It's a harsh, hot, and sometimes lonely environment, but as Frank suggests, it's still one of those magic places on Earth that hasn't yet caught up with mainstream tourism.
Gordon, it's a remote place. People tend to think of Namibia as an old German colony that's only got diamonds and desert. And that is probably why, and people don't realize what they're missing. This is probably Southern Africa's jewel, a very unique country, a very safe environment to travel in. The traveller that comes here comes here for its wide open spaces, its magnificent views and vistas, clean air, happy, friendly people, and a range of activities, from hardcore adventure activities like whitewater rafting or skydiving over the Namib desert, to being in one of Africa's greatest wilderness areas in the deep desert where you can just disappear.
And you can't beat the landscapes.
No, you can't. I mean, the views, the wide open spaces, and just the quietness. Any person that comes here somewhere, their soul will be touched by this unique environment.
Namibia is a poor nation, and many of its inhabitants continue to struggle with impoverished conditions. Some of the Himba tribe people now live in paper shack homes that dot the highway south. After leaving Ipupa Falls along the southern border of Angola, I entered the Red Rock Desert of Damaraland. My journey would take me further south along the coastline and down the Skelton Coast National Park. After that, I headed towards Swakopmund for some incredible adventure activities in the Namib Desert. I would end my journey outside Solitaire in the amazing Red Dune Desert. This is the tail end of Damaraland, an area that covers about 200 by 600 kilometers of amazing scenery. What lay beyond the park gate was nothing, and lots of it, as far as the eye could see, nothing. This massive desert region is the gatekeeper to the commencement of the Skelton Coast, which stretches down the entire Atlantic coast. The silence in the northwest corner of the Skelton Coast is eerie and uncommon, considering this is a national park. This is a remarkably foreboding ecosystem and totally unique to the planet. Upon reaching the coast, I was treated to an extremely rare phenomenon. The weather was totally clear, and according to Frank, it's an occasion that's almost never witnessed by visitors. We took the opportunity to picnic on the bonnet before moving on. This region of Africa is littered with shipwrecks due to the strong currents, hence the name Skelton Coast. Even airplanes have gone missing and never been recovered along this shoreline. The only life immune to nature's forces are the sea lion colonies that dot the beachfront. This is an old oil rig that's been reclaimed by the desert. It was really busy in the 70s and then presumed to be abandoned. They don't think any oil was discovered, but the Skelton Coast itself is 1,000 kilometers long. And today, we've just been so lucky because the sun's popped out, the skies are blue, and this is extremely unusual. It's usually enshrouded in mist and only happens about maybe 30 days of the whole year that you get this kind of weather. The coast of Africa is a dangerous place for shipping, even today with sophisticated navigational aids and modern vessels. One reason for this is an icy stream of water that comes directly from Antarctica and pushes with great force onto the continental mass of southern Africa. This one old lady certainly didn't fare well because of the large Atlantic rollers. The powerful waves rise far out of the Atlantic and crash down on the Namibian coastline. Time and souvenir hunters have left nothing behind but old sea dog stories and memories for this vessel. Coming up next on Don't Forget Your Passport, I'll be moving south to the old German colonial community of Swakopmund. My guides will test their parachute skills over the Namib Desert, so hang in for more African adventure from central Namibia. Set out to find a hotel, of which there are many to choose from. The offices, homes, and churches are brightly colored, and they reflect the desert and sea environment, which envelops the entire German colonial community. Old mansions and simple wooden architecture give visitors a sense of charm and warmth that's not really too easy to find in Africa.